Welcome to Nexor Reacts, where the rabbit holes run deep. Buckle up, we're diving in. I was nearly convinced this was authentic until I saw the artificial motion blur as the craft descended. It's such a classic CGI trick, it almost had me fooled. Anyone else spot this? A huge thank you to all of my amazing channel members. Your support makes all of this possible, and it genuinely means the world to me. You're not just supporting a channel, you're joining a community that's passionate about exploring, questioning, and discovering the truth. If you're interested in joining the Ultra Awoken family and unlocking exclusive perks, hit the link in the description below.
Pues eso, hemos perdido negocio, coches, hemos perdido todo por culpa del agua. Ahora, ¿esto quién lo paga? Ruina total, muy mal. El agua hasta dónde ha llegado. ¿Ve la marca negra? Hasta ahí el agua.
Agua de arriba, los dos pueblos de arriba, acá ha llovido mucho y al caer, pues el barranco del Pollo se llama, se ha desbordado y el agua desde Catarroja, Masanas y todo eso ha venido aquí y ha arramblado todo lo que hay. Y ya no hay cosas, no hay
nada, la gente no tiene casa, no tiene luz, nada, coche, no tiene nada, luz, ni agua, ni los supermercados cerrados, todo. Mi casa allí al final, en lo peor mi casa está inundada, bueno, y hay peores que mi casa.
This is getting out of hand. Do you think it's a natural weather event, or could it be influenced by weather manipulation? Interestingly, weather modification programs have been around since at least the 1950s, with documented projects like Project Cirrus. Makes you wonder how advanced it is today. Thank you so much to everyone hitting those like goals. Let's aim for 2,000 likes again on this video. Every like truly helps spread the content, and it's amazing to see the support. I appreciate each of you taking a second just to hit that button.
Did you know that witchcraft and magic is in the Bible? Yeah, the same Bible that condemns it. By the end of this video, you'll understand its secret power and why the church is absolutely terrified of it. First, the Magi who visited baby Jesus, they were astrologers and magicians from the East. The very people Christians now call evil. But guess what? The Bible calls them wise men. Then there's King Saul. When he's desperate for answers, who does he call? Not God, but the Witch of Endor. Yeah, a witch. She summons the prophet Samuel from the dead, and it works. Why would God's chosen one call up a witch? And then what about Simon the sorcerer? He was a magician in Samaria who was so powerful that people called him the great power of God. Yet today he's branded as the first Antichrist. The Bible condemns magic, even saying you must not allow a witch to live. So why is the church so afraid of them? Because while Christianity is about condemning your inner darkness to have a relationship with God, magic teaches you to embrace that darkness, transform it into light, and awaken the God within you.
This seems pretty dark. I'm skeptical about claims of magic in the Bible. Some terms might have been transliterated to suggest it, but I'm no Bible scholar. Any experts out there? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
This involves aliens. A couple days ago, there was a whistleblower talking about this program, the Pentagon, an undisclosed head organization over UAP, UFO. This thing is called the Immaculate Constellation. So this whistleblower went to Congress. Congress went to the Department of Defense, and they said, know that you have a disclosed organization. They responded like, no, we don't have the Immaculate Constellation. And they said, we never said that. So now they are holding a congressional hearing on November 13th. There are going to be witnesses that come forward who divulge all. I truly feel that there is going to be a great deception that is about to happen. The faked alien invasion. What that ushers in is potentially a one world government. But there's people like Lou Elizondo and David Grush. They're saying there's an imminent threat. And I think these guys are fully planned because he said something along the lines of it's imminent and I wish we had more time. Time is so valuable. I feel like they're setting the stage. So when something happens,
they offer a solution.
Yes.
Oh, come on now. The archives were supposed to have all of the classified records and various classifications of records added to them for public view. But look at what we've actually received so far. Pretty much nothing. If I'm honest, all of this just feels like a distraction, maybe even part of a larger agenda to set the stage for a false flag alien invasion. My guess, if anything happens, it won't be tied to aliens, it'll be tied to religion in some way.
You know what's going on right now in Mexico?
Nah.
You know how I talked about the Serbian lady? Stay away from the Serbian dancing lady.
There's like a variant of it in Mexico, except it's called the White Masked Man. People are saying that the guy was influenced from Terrifier. In Mexico, there's a guy in all white except for the mouth. In the mouth area, it's red. Blood is coming out of it. There was a story where a girl was doing a jog at night, and on the other side of the road, you see an all-white guy jogging towards him. It stops and says, "Merry Christmas!" On a day-to-day basis, it's just roaming around. So people are trying to figure out, has it murdered anyone yet? Because why is there blood?
Or is he just like cosplaying?
Or he's just cosplaying. You'll see him at a local bar.
Now that's scary, bro.
Scary, fam. Look.
That is like Terrifier. If you watch Terrifier, it just shows like a guy, I think at a pizza shop or whatever, and he's just in the corner like, look at you though.
That's exactly
Weird, right?
Yeah.
Never seen this character before, but it was Halloween after all. To be honest though, if I saw this guy approaching me, I'd be ready to defend myself, costume or not. I love lightning storms. We get so few here in the UK. The best one I ever saw was during a monsoon in Singapore. I was in a pool watching purple lightning strike a skyscraper. Got out of there quick and it was a wild experience to say the least.
It was in 1969 in Siberia. It was this coal mine and they were down 230 feet and this one guy hit the coal. A hole opened up and it was a tunnel. What they found was this 8-foot long white marble sarcophagus. Boss immediately alerts the military and stuff like that. But the coal miners were like, once the SSR dudes get down here, they're going to take it, pop the lid. Smart. And what they find in there is a perfectly preserved woman. It's like she was wearing like a translucent dress. She was covered in this like pink liquid and it was too heavy to lift. And so they're like, let's just drain it of the pink liquid.
Oh boy.
So they drained it and instantly after they drained it, the woman started to decompose.
It was preserving her?
They brought it back.
Yeah.
They did lab tests on it and stuff. Could not identify what the pink liquid was. Immediately after that, all the miners were fired. And then around the coal mine, they had military. And it was in the 70s that these news reporters were writing about this. And the KGB was like, stop talking about this. And they're in fact arrested.
For what then?
False information. And then it was...
Look at those heads. They're like a weird mix of a garden gnome and Easter Island statues. So weird.
If you guys have not seen the viral photo of what was captured on the surface of Mars, you need to be paying attention to this. So basically, the first spacecraft to ever land on Mars captured this chilling image of a human face that people think is proof of other life forms. Now, what people may not realize is that this is a very old photo from 1976 when the Viking 1 lander first made contact on the surface of Mars. It's just an old photo that a lot of people are now thinking is brand new. And of course, this blew way out of proportion and people started thinking that this was bona fide proof that there's life on Mars. Experts then had to go on and debunk the whole situation, stating that the speckled appearance that makes the image look like a face is actually due to missing data from the cameras. And they say that the problem here is that there's transmission issues from photographing Mars and sending it back to Earth. After they reprocessed the images that were captured from the surface, this is the 2-mile wide plateau that was on the surface of Mars, so it looks not quite like a face. And what's really interesting is that they're planning a new mission to Mars called the Martian Moons Exploration. This is just to be able to capture the 2 moons of Mars. I keep you guys updated about anything happening in the news, especially when it's this interesting, so be sure to add me and come back tomorrow.
Case closed or cover up? The face on Mars is intriguing, but I'm not fully convinced it's evidence of life. And considering NASA's role in releasing the photos, who knows if what we're seeing is the full picture. What do you think?
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment.
When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
And finally, viewers all across the country will get the answer to their most burning question. Are the Illuminati real? And if so, why haven't I been invited? Garfield, where are you? I know you know. I know you know.
The time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Oh, the symbol of the Illuminati.
What was wrong with that video? It looked like a cartoon. Anyway, Illuminati? I'm not so sure. Probably not. More like a surface level concept of what's actually behind the scenes. If I'm honest, I think it's all about bloodlines and not just actors or musicians. Anyone else agree?
What in the world is going on with the power structure in Western North Carolina? All the utility workers, the linemen, are literally going on strike right this minute. They're saying that they have not been paid in 8 weeks. 8 weeks! They've been sleeping and living in their trucks. It's kind of odd, don't you think? Allegedly, going around at the same time, supposedly CPS is taking away children from people being homeless. And again, that's alleged. I don't know for sure, but I do know that the Red Cross and other organizations are pulling out of Western North Carolina while the linemen are going on strike.
We're all going on strike? Raise them boobs! Everybody raise them boobs! Nobody's fucking doing anything! Sorry, Asheville, we're here for you, but at the same time, we're here for our families. So it has been 8 weeks. We have not gotten a single penny. They won't even release the per diem app.
Remember, all these people just lost everything they've ever known. And not related, but we had the news just come out last week and say that we have a whole bunch of natural resources in this area right here. Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, for no reason. And on a lighter note, we have Trump pulling up in a garbage truck trolling CNN.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
I can't, so someone tell him in the comments why he's saying this.
This sounds really concerning. Could this be part of a land grab or maybe even rebuilding infrastructure to fit a new agenda? The connections to CPS are also unsettling. What's your take?
Urban legends that ended up being real, part 8. Candyman. This legend has put a chill on Halloween traditions, making some families weary of trick-or-treating altogether. The story goes that a mysterious figure, often called the Candyman, deliberately hands out tainted treats to children on Halloween night. What makes this legend so terrifying is that it's rooted from a real event. On Halloween night in 1974 in Deer Park, Texas, Ronald O'Brien took his 2 children trick-or-treating along with a neighbor and their children. The group visited several houses, and at one stop, O'Brien claimed a neighbor handed out oversized pixie sticks to kids. Later that evening, O'Brien's 8-year-old son, Timothy, asked to eat some candy before bed. O'Brien gave him the pixie sticks he had received, and as Timothy took his first taste, he commented on the candy's strange, bitter flavor. Sadly, he started to vomit and then passed away. The cause, cyanide poisoning. However, police quickly discovered that Ronald O'Brien had taken out a large life insurance policy on his children just before Halloween. He actually did this to his son himself. And to avoid suspicion, he handed out other poisoned pixie sticks to neighborhood children, though thankfully none of them ate the candy. Make sure to always check your candy.
Would you look at that? Turns out the Candyman was based on real events. I'll be honest, that's more terrifying than any ghost story. Nothing is scarier than what humans are capable of. Wouldn't you agree?
This is the doctor's office of the future. It's called the Carepod. But here's what's crazy. There's no medical professionals inside. No doctors, no nurses. The whole experience is automated and feels like it's from the future. When you walk into a Carepod, you choose from a series of health apps on the screen. Preliminary body scans, genetic tests, heart health, whatever you need. And this thing is loaded with sensors. It takes full biometrics and scans your entire body. Now the goal is to give you the fastest path to medical testing without being slowed down by insurance checks or busy waiting rooms. But here's the coolest part. They think of Carepod kind of like a medical vending machine. When a patient wants a test, the pod opens a drawer and literally dispenses everything you'd need. You take the equipment, run the test, and put it right back into the machine. That data is then uploaded and sent remotely to doctors so they can analyze it. This whole system was built by a company called Forward. And I gotta say, their vision is bold. They want to put one of these on every single street corner. And you can imagine how powerful that'd be. Today they offer 86 different tests. And the vision is that you could pop into one of these pods every couple weeks, check in, do a scan, and they would track your health metrics over time. And I don't know about you, but that's kind of what I want my healthcare experience to look like. Preventative, not just reactionary when something bad happens. Overall, what looks more enjoyable to you? This or this?
If we keep letting machines think for us, we're heading straight towards transhumanism. Don't let tech take over. Let's make sure we keep our autonomy. A massive thank you to all of my subscribers. Your support means everything. And if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow and ensures that you don't miss out on our daily dives into these topics. Cheers.
Breaking news in Fredericktown, Missouri. There is a lithium battery recycling plant that is on fire, that is having explosions, that started about 2 hours ago. Now, according to their website, they are one of the largest lithium-ion battery processing facilities in the world. Now, the good news is that the workers there are all accounted for, and there is only minor injuries that are taking place. Now, there is obviously an evacuation that is immediate in the area. The things that they are known for there is obviously automotive OEMs, battery dealers, recyclers, and processors worldwide. What really sucks about these type of fires that are taking place at lithium battery plants is they can take a long time until they go out. Now, Fredericktown is located just over here. You do have some rain that is coming in. However, that's looking like tomorrow morning that will be taking place. Take care. God bless.
Let's be honest, this is not a good look for lithium batteries. But as they say, follow the money. This is often where the most revealing answers lie. Keep a lookout.
You won't see this on the news.
We are fighting for America's future. And we understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear
People are waking up. I was pretty shocked to see that this happened in Kalamazoo, Michigan, which Michigan is a swing state, but it's pretty much notoriously leaned towards blue. So to see them react like this was a pretty big surprise. Seems like Kamala is getting slammed everywhere that she goes because people are getting bolder and bolder about the truth. This is not a time to stay silent. This is not a time to let the chips fall where they may. You know, it's funny because I've heard Kamala say that your voice is powerful and you should use it. But at the same time, their party is actively trying to get rid of the First Amendment, which allows freedom of speech. The irony. If you're a person who's bold about the truth, follow for more.
That crowd, they did not sound supportive. Imagine standing there and that kind of energy being directed at you. I wouldn't want to be in her shoes. Did anyone catch what he said though? I think it was no more wars. I don't know, let me know what you heard.
Hey, it's Glamham. Well, I can see why this drew your attention. Wait till you get a load of this little puppy. Whoa. Well, let's look at what was doing all the etch-a-sketching. Now that's a beauty. I believe it's called the Vanilla Unmanned, suitable for fun things like gliding over Arctic spaces, traveling in the air for 10 days unmanned, not even requiring a runway, and able to do just a little bit of spying. I mean, we've got to have some fun. Well, I'm impressed with Platform Aerospace. They have some tasty clients. And my guess is this was a practice of durability. I mean, that's what I hope it was. I think it was. I mean, it is, isn't it? Just practicing. I think so. I'll see you in the comments. Take care.
Look at the patterns that drone's making. That's wild stuff. Imagine if it were cloud seeding. Anyone nearby, keep an eye on the weather over the next few days and let us know what happens, if anything at all.
Happening right now. You see it there on your screen. In that place is particularly chilling.
Because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally.
Again now, I want you to give you that backdrop. Something anti-Semitic happened. Now Donald Trump. Bill Clinton's done rallies at Madison Square Garden. That's the venue. We've just heard this. Hitler was actually Chancellor of Germany. So we're closing down all of Germany. Hitler drove a Mercedes. We cannot have Mercedes anywhere. Adolf Hitler used to drink Fanta. We cannot have Fanta available anymore for anybody. Hitler was a vegetarian. Everyone must continually eat meat. Adolf Hitler was an artist, and I once saw Donald Trump looking at a painting. So do you see maybe what he's trying, maybe against that backdrop, will you please vote for Kamala Harris, even though plainly she is an inept hollow cipher of the interests of globalism, otherwise anti-Semite.
What do you think of his point here? To be honest with you, I agree. Unless someone explicitly claims to be inspired by someone else, we can't just make assumptions. Share your thoughts below.
If you've never been to outer space, how can you tell me that anything that we see in outer space is actually real? I'm talking about all the spacewalks, all the space flights, all the drones going to Mars. How do we know that any of this is real when everything we've been given has been animated so far? Do you see where my suspicion can come from? Now you could say, hey Cameron, well, what about flat Earth? How do you have proof that the Earth is flat if you've never been to space? Well, all you have to do is go and measure some water, because water never curves. No matter what you do to water, it never curves, which only proves that the Earth is actually a globe, because gravity is magically forcing your perception to see curvature, even though there's no curvature actually there. Just like this video with a balloon at 127,000 feet altitude. Even with a fisheye lens, we can't really detect any curvature. That's just how powerful flat Earth is. But of course, I am just being sarcastic. And of course, we've been to outer space. It's just that we have no actual proof of ever being to outer space, other than a few interesting videos. I have to be careful with what I say. Entertainment only.
I actually noticed the Earth's curvature from an infinity pool this summer. Just went eye level with the water and used my peripheral vision to look at the ocean, which was on the other side of it. But I'll be honest, here's a thought that I had. The curves seem to suggest Earth is far larger than we're told. And if I'm honest with you as well, I've actually worked with computer code used to transmit data from orbiting satellites before, and let me tell you, the math points to a sphere at least. But let's go ahead and discuss it in the comments. Try to stay civil.
Super Typhoon Kongray is now recorded as the largest typhoon to impact Taiwan in nearly 3 decades, with a radius of maximum wind extending 320 kilometers, an extraordinary size that has not been seen since Typhoon Erb in 1996. Currently at Category 4 hurricane strength, Kongray is expected to hit Taiwan's eastern coast by Thursday, bringing life-threatening winds, torrential rainfall, and significant risks of landslides and flash flooding, particularly in Yilan, Hualien, and Taitung. Authorities across Taiwan have raised land warnings in nearly all areas and have implemented major closures, including schools, workplaces, and transport. Eastern Taiwan's mountainous terrain could worsen flood risks, with rainfall levels expected to be catastrophic. Predictions indicate potential record-breaking rain, strong enough to disrupt infrastructure, bring down power lines, and cut off roadways, especially in mountainous regions vulnerable to landslides. As Kongray progresses, it will likely move westward into the Taiwan Strait, possibly impacting China's eastern coast by Friday. Additionally, Japan's southern cities, particularly Naha and Tokunoshima, remain on high alert for strong winds and heavy rains as the storm may shift northeast, threatening more populated areas. The public is strongly advised to finalize all precautionary measures and evacuations, as conditions are expected to worsen rapidly. Stay tuned for updates as Kongray remains a severe, life-threatening typhoon in this rare late-season event.
Would you look at this? Just had the UN summit too, which was focusing on climate change and pledges that sound like restrictions disguised as environmental efforts. Is this weather natural, or is there manipulation at play?
Who do you think you are today? The more we learn about this covenant of God. What blood? The blood of this covenant, glory to God. Cut the covenant with his Father God.
Glory.
That's good. Yes, like Moses of old. There's they're coming one. Oh. Don't ever do it. Don't ever feel sorry for yourself. Don't ever do it. Absolutely stunning. Just delicious. It's so good. And he will be like Moses, and he'll live 120 years in the city. Preach it, brother, preach it, brother, preach it. Just before the cross. And we have a healing covenant. Dwells in me, the pure, spotless blood of God. And Hesed was performed for me. He's my blood brother, and my Father is my friend. And as he is, so are we in this world. Glory to God, I don't have it. I never will have it. And I don't mind telling you, I'll never be sick again in my life hereafter forever. Not one time. I will never. Say what? Today? We know your mama.
Man, the first time I saw this guy, I thought he looked like a freaking vampire. This is supposed to be a spiritual leader. He acts more like a cult leader. It's shocking how people just blindly follow these televangelists. Terrifying, really.
Prove me wrong here, because to me, this adds up. These two reforested an entire area in 12 years. Went from that to that, 12 years. Another guy did a similar thing in India over the span of 40 years. That he did by himself. Both of those are impressive, but the ancients are on an entirely different level. The Amazon is almost entirely man-made. The pre-Inca civilizations, like the Paracas, were known for their elongated heads, their impressive stonework, and their ability to make crazy stuff like these terraced farms. More like outdoor labs that were used to acclimatize plants to be grown in places like Machu Picchu. They created the most biodiverse ecosystem in the entire world. And they did it using something called terra preta, made of a secret recipe of burnt plants and compost that's kept the soil fertile for thousands of years. Here's Anton.
The fungus is present in pretty much all soil-containing plants, and it's almost always part of the colony inside the plant roots. And it's actually believed to dramatically enhance growth of plants, but most importantly, it's known to dramatically increase immune system while also acting as a kind of a parasite for various pathogenic fungi, which can generally hurt plants.
That fungi responds to sound. This may be the reason why plants grow better with sound. My theory was the cymatic that's created from a specific frequency matches the plant's shape, reinforcing its structure. Part is the fungus responds to those frequencies. I research ancient architecture's interaction with certain vibrations like Borobudur, step wells in India, even pyramids. Pyramids in Mexico and Guatemala are part of the Americas, and they're right in the sweet spot. Along with fertility, there's more.
Higher yield of sweet peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes, spinach, cotton, rice, wheat, lettuce. Everything grew approximately 20 to 30% more when classical music was played. It seemed to strengthen the immune system of various plants, overall making these plants much stronger.
So I asked AI, how could ancient people have used pyramids to terraform planet Earth? And now I think I have a new series you're going to love. I have a new book coming out on this next month. So this month, for 2 more days, you can get all my old stuff for 75% off. Time has come again for a haircut. Supporting this research also supports my skull plants and their continual maintenance.
Using sound to grow plants is mind-blowing. Also, the idea of somatic supporting the structure of the plant itself is a new one to me, but it totally makes sense. Also, I didn't know about pyramids being used for terraforming. That's pretty interesting stuff. I want to delve deeper into that at some point.
All right, we have to cover this garbage story, literally a garbage story about Puerto Rico. And this is, listen, I don't know what to say. Nobody has a sense of humor anymore. That's really what it comes down to. When you book a comedian, the comedian's job is to offend you. That's like the point. There used to be a time in America where comedians used to get up on stage and they would be racist and sexist and misogynist and offensive to everybody in the room. And then you'd laugh and realize that you're not that important and you all kind of suck a little bit and you feel a little closer because of it. But now we've transformed into this world where everybody clutches their pearls all the time. And so at the Madison Square Garden rally that Trump hosted, they had comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, who is quite literally known for making racist jokes all the time. That's literally what he does for a living. And I had not seen the clip until after the media panic and freaking out about what he said about Puerto Rico. And then when I saw it, I was like, man, I just hate the world for the reaction that they are having to this. So let's actually watch what Tony Hinchcliffe said on stage. Please, if you're listening, grab your pearls right now. Take a listen.
There's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody. This isn't exactly a perfect comedy setup.
So he's obviously probably super nervous. He's sitting there on stage and he's probably the biggest crowd he's ever been in front of, if we're being honest. It's Madison Square Garden and it's packed. You have every right to think it's not funny. That's totally fine. I didn't think it was funny when Dave Chappelle got on stage and did an entire segment on me during the George Floyd stuff, and he said some offensive things about me, and then the whole media was so happy because they hated Candace Owens when she was anti-BLM, and they were like, what's your response? My response was, he's a comedian. This is what he's supposed to do. We need comedians. Like, when we start killing the jester, we're in trouble. We are just in trouble as a society. When you're like, kill the jester, when the kings start killing the jesters, you know that you are really getting into a scary point in your society. And so whether or not you think it's funny, you are just supposed to permit it. You do not take it seriously. They cut out all of the other people that he offended. He offended many other races while he was up there. And he's obviously pointing to, just trying to make people laugh, whether or not it landed or not. He's just trying to make people laugh. It's a tough job being a comedian, which is an uptight nation that we've become. And then you had Audrey Plaza, an actress, take this so seriously, speaking at the Wall Street Journal Magazine Innovator Awards on Tuesday night. And here's what she had to say. Take a listen.
A Puerto Rican woman. I just wanted to very quickly respond to the racist joke that was made at that Trump rally about Puerto Rico, where most of my family is from. Thankfully, my sweet abuelita wasn't here to hear that disgusting remark, but if she was alive today, I think she would say, Tony Hinchcliffe, go f yourself. And yes, the Wall Street Journal can quote me on that.
By the way that she says abuelita, it didn't really sound like it's abuelita. I don't know, it just feels like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to do her genealogy. That's what I'm thinking. But here's the point, she's supposed to be a comedian, she can't take a joke. That's the society that we're in. Like, she's literally supposed to be a comedic actress, and she's like, go F yourself, and how dare you say this? The best response to this actually came from Jon Stewart, because he's a comedian, and he chose to make fun of everybody that was being over the top about it, and also showed other clips of the comedian being racist, because again, that's what he does. Take a listen.
To be fair, the guy's really just doing what he does. I mean, here he is at the Tom Brady roast a few months ago.
The great Jeff Ross, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff is so Jewish, he only watches football for the coin toss. Gronk, you look like the Nazi that kept burning himself on the ovens. Kevin is so small that when his ancestors picked cotton, they called it deadlifting.
Yes, of course. Terrible, boo, yes. I mean, bringing him to a rally and have him not do roast jokes, that'd be like bringing Beyonce to a rally and not have... Oh.
I'm sorry. I just agree with him. I find racist jokes to be funny. I really do. I make them all the time to my sisters, my cousins. I got mixed people in my family. Cousins that are Mexican, I make Mexican jokes. Cousins that are part Puerto Rican, I make Puerto Rican jokes. And so if you're just easily offended, I guess you probably don't listen to this podcast either. I want to be on record. I hate everybody. You know what I mean? Like if you're like, yes, is it because I'm Italian or because I'm Irish, because I'm Jewish? Yeah, it's all those things. I'm just really tired of everybody being so offended all the time. I miss the 90s, man. Like loosen up, just loosen up. Again, you don't have to think it's funny, but the reaction, like it's the end of the world, completely crazy. It's not like he's like a sitting president saying this stuff seriously, which is what Biden did.
Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization is seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American.
Come on, CNN, you know better than to let that man go live. That is your fault. That is on you, CNN, okay? We know that he's supposed to be reading from a prompter from 3 days ago, allow them to AI edit it. I mean, that is just on you. And so now they basically just volleyballed that. It looked like it was going to be a scandal for Trump, and then Biden said, hold my beer. And that's where we're at today. We're all garbage. Okay, whatever. I love you back. Calm down.
How do I even comment on this? Pretty sure that if he'd made that joke here in the UK, he'd be looking at some pretty awful prison time. It's tricky to comment on this without stepping too close to the line, so just share your thoughts below. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like and subscribe for my daily content. Sharing the video as well on your social media really helps expand the Awoken family. But for now, stay safe, stay well, and stay curious. Until next time. All reactions in these videos are for entertainment purposes only. Any advice given should be treated as entertainment as well. Viewers are responsible for conducting their own research into any subjects discussed in the videos before taking any action based on the information provided.